Betrayed. Again. Caleb Dune again finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place. He threw in with the pirate, Janus Casimir, but it appears that Casimir just threw him to the dogs. Imprisoned, Caleb Dune now awaits trial. His jailer contacts Captain Gray and Commander Styles. The troopers are now on their way to execute the young Padawan. For treason. Hours later, Caleb's depression falls deeper. He had never felt less of a connection to the Force, a connection to all living things. But then, the pirate came back. Janus Casimir commands the Padawan to stand away from the walls. A massive robot decimated the wall, giving the opening Caleb needed to break free. Caleb's confused. He thought his smuggler friend had betrayed him. Casimir thought about it, but if someone was to collect a bounty on a Jedi's head, it will be Casimir. Caleb thought about it. He wanted to ditch the smuggler and go his own way, but instead, he departed the planet with the one guy that had shown him any form of kindness after the death of his master. The two now heads off to worlds unknown. Their partnership proves to be profitable. They sold the droids they stole from Kalar to fund their next job. Eventually, Caleb stopped thinking about his master, about what she would have thought of him, that he even found it fun. There is that one downside. Caleb slept with one eye open because his old friends are still after him. The Empire will not rest until they purge the galaxy of the Jedi. But until that day comes, Caleb and Casimir will continue their journey together. Their next job brings them to a planet deep in the Outer Rim. Casimir gave Caleb a mission to meet his contact and to make sure that everything is going according to plan. Caleb complies. He approaches the contact, asking for a man named John Doe. The hooded man nods, and he reveals himself. Caleb remembers this man from the war. It is General Cleave of the Separatist Alliance. The Padawan pulls out his blaster in defense, but General Cleave did not retaliate. Instead, he informs the boy that being a part of the Separatist Alliance meant that he fought for freedom, but he put his trust in a corrupt leadership. Cleave orders the boy to holster his blaster. They were never truly enemies to begin with, and now they both found themselves on the opposing side of the Empire. Elsewhere, Janus Casimir finds himself in a sticky situation. Commander Gray finally tracked down the Jedi to this godforsaken planet. Gray demands to know the whereabouts of the young Jedi, but Casimir replies that he last saw the Jedi on Kalar. There isn't any Jedi here, unbeknownst to the trooper and the smuggler. Caleb heard the whole thing. The young Padawan returns to Cleave with a plan to save his friend, but Cleave will not hear it. The smuggler Casimir is arrested and is probably going to spend the rest of his life behind bars, but after a long convincing, Cleave decides to help the young Padawan out. They arrive at the ship that Casimir wanted to buy from Cleave. The plan? To use the ship to break Casimir out. Then Cleave will have his money. But as Caleb prepares to board the ship, the Force calls to him. Something is not right. The young Padawan gets a rifle to the face, and his comrade Cleave is apprehended by the troopers. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and today we are reviewing and recapping Kanan, The Last Padawan issue 4. So this week, I didn't see any DC Rebirth titles that I wanted to cover, and I'm still waiting to find a good Marvel title to start covering. That leaves me plenty of room to start Star Wars coverage, so let's get into it. This issue solidified the friendship or partnership between Caleb Dune and his smuggler friend, Janus Casimir. I like these type of relationships. Casimir plays the hard-ass pirate that is not very sensitive, but you can see that he has a soft spot for Caleb. This explains a lot as to how Caleb transitions to Kanan from Star Wars Rebel. Without Casimir, he probably would not have survived this long. The one thing that stood out to me in this issue is the attitude of the troopers. This actually answers a question that I never thought about. How did the troopers act after Order 66? I actually started watching Star Wars The Clone Wars again, and since the show is canon, which basically means that everything happened in relation to the movies, you can see plenty of examples of compassion from the troopers. So that begs the question, how did the troopers behave after Order 66? I would assume that they would have been devastated knowing that they killed their general, but Kanan, the last Padawan, reveals that Order 66 changed their perspective on the Jedi. They now believe the Jedi are traitors and one of the worst form of scum in the galaxy. That gives me an understanding of how Commander Gray, General Kenobi's trooper, acted moving forward. But if you guys follow Star Wars lore, then you will remember Anakin's trooper, Captain Rex. He found out about Order 66 and removed his chip. He lived out his days with 2 other troopers, and now he is part of the show Star Wars Rebels. Okay, so that's all for now. Issue 5 will be in the works, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in another Star Wars video.